Hey kids, Brody here. I have with me a really big bag of candy. Rockets to be exact. And I love rockets. They're just so tasty, they're a little bit tangy, and they're sweet, and the feeling that you get in your mouth when you eat them, whether they dissolve or you chomp on them, is really quite pleasant, isn't it? Um, sometimes when I'm really, really hungry, I start to crave sugar just like a boss. I crave sugar like a madman. Um, so I feel tempted to eat up this entire bag. But I know that if I do, I'll feel really, really sick, won't I? But even though I know that, and I also remember times where maybe I have eaten too much candy and I just feel gross, I still feel tempted to gobble that whole bag up. And that got me thinking, how can knowing the truth help me when I'm tempted? To find the answer, we're going to look at Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 to 11, when Jesus was tempted by the devil. And this is right after Jesus was baptized. That says, "Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry." So Jesus hadn't eaten for 40 days and 40 nights. "And the tempter came and said to him, 'If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread.' But he answered, 'It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God.' Then the devil took him to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, 'If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone.' Jesus said to him, 'Again, it is written, You shall not put the Lord your God to the test.' Again the devil took him to a very high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, 'All these I will give you, if you will fall down and worship me.' Then Jesus said to him, 'Begone, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve.' Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and were ministering to him." So Jesus, even though he was tempted, he didn't give in. We see that Jesus knew the truth. He knew what God said in the scriptures. And as we know with candy, even though we know it's not good for us to eat it, we still fall to its allure. We still end up eating it. So simply knowing something isn't enough to help us have victory over temptations, is it? But how did Jesus use the scriptures in such a way that helped him to not fall to temptation? Well, Jesus summed it up when he quoted Deuteronomy by saying, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." So Jesus had filled himself with the words of God. In fact, that is one of the reasons why a person fasts, so that we remind ourselves how sweet God is, and that we don't need anything else but Him. So Jesus had just gotten through 40 days and nights of this. 40 days of sweet time with the Father, where he wasn't distracted by anything else. He was just enjoying time with the Father. So even though his body was really weak from how hungry he was, his spirit was strong. So when the devil came along with his temptations and lies, Jesus was not so easily tempted. It's sort of like if you enjoy a nice big barbecue dinner with a perfectly cooked steak, maybe medium rare with some singed edges, and mashed potatoes, and some sweet corn on the cob, and asparagus. Now stay with me here. Asparagus fried in butter and garlic, and maybe some steamed carrots, and you fill yourself up with this hearty, healthy meal like this. if someone were to offer you all of these rockets and saying, hey, fill yourself up with this, you'd be far less likely to fall to that temptation. You'd be like, well, I'm full. I don't need that. It's the same thing with having victory over temptations. If we make sure to spend consistent time with God, if we are striving to talk with Him every day, read His Word, to help others with the mindfulness that God is with me and He's working through me, then our happiness tank gets filled up. So when someone takes something from us, or they don't share, we're not as likely to lash out in anger because we don't need that to be happy. We already have God filling us up. When someone says something we don't like, we're less likely to say something rude or mean because we filled our minds with the good words from God. So finding victory over temptations isn't about us trying harder not to do bad things, but instead filling ourselves up with God, spending time with Him, spending time enjoying His Word and learning it, memorizing it, so that there's no room for sin when temptations come around. So that when temptations come up, we can say, you know what? No, I don't need that. I'm already satisfied. I'm already good. I don't need it. And that's what Jesus did. That doesn't mean that having victory over sin, over temptations, is always easy, or that we never fail. But it does set us up better to succeed. Now let's pray, and then that'll be it for the lesson for today. Father, thank you for giving us this example in Jesus of how to say no when temptations come around. God, I ask that you would strengthen each of us in you, that we would not fall to the allure of sin, but that we would be consistently filling ourselves up with you, that we would be satisfied in you, that our enjoyment of you would be so strong that we would not fall to temptation. Father, I ask that you would be continuing to teach and train up these kids to be godly men and women who honor their families, who honor you, and who seek to serve others as Jesus also served others and has served us. Thank you that you have given every believer your Spirit to help us be satisfied in you and to not fall to sin. I ask that you would be protecting each of us. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, thanks for joining me today for this lesson. I hope that you each have an awesome week, and you will get to see me again on Sunday. But this week, Pastor Ian will actually be doing the lesson, and I'll be preaching. So I encourage you to tune in and watch and learn and enjoy. Until then, see you later.